The single bullet theory. The greatest problem for the Warren Commission was its attempt to reconcile the ballistic and medical evidence by supporting the idea that both President Kennedy and Governor Connally were struck by the same bullet. The idea on its face is unpalatable. To believe the single bullet theory, one must believe that a single high-powered rifle slug penetrated two men, causing 7 wounds, shattering a rib and a wrist bone, then emerged almost totally unscathed to become the pristine Commission Exhibit 399. Yet to disbelieve the single bullet theory means rejecting the Warren Commission's entire version of the assassination. Despite the testimony of many witnesses, the Warren Commission concluded that only 3 shots were fired during the assassination, solely on the basis that 3 spent shells were found on the 6th floor of the Texas School Book Depository. Having concluded that only 3 shots were fired, the absolute maximum allowable for only 1 assassin, the commissioner set about to determine the timing effects of each shot. In late 63 and early 64, there was no problem, since the FBI early on had established an assassination time sequence by studying the Zapruder film and Zapruder's 8mm camera. The commission had a certain time frame to work within. The original FBI and Secret Service reports made it clear that Kennedy was struck in the back by the first shot, Governor Connally hit by the second, and the president's head wound caused by the third. While this stretched the allowable time for such shooting to the limit, and despite the contradiction of Connally, who testified he was hit after the first shot, this believable scenario was accepted by the commission for a time. Then came the problem of James Tague, the man who was struck by a piece of cement while standing near the triple underpass. Initially, both the FBI and the Warren Commission tried to ignore Tague, but after an assistant U.S. attorney in Dallas sent commissioners both an account of the Tague wounding and a Dallas News photograph of the bullet mark on the curb, the commission was forced to action. In the spring of 1964, at a time the FBI was denying any curb shot in Dallas, Commission Attorney Arlen Specter, today a U.S. Senator from Pennsylvania, began conceiving the idea that both Kennedy and Connally were struck by the same bullet. At this time, information from Dallas concerning the curb shot reached the ears of the Commission and invalidated the carefully constructed scenario of one lone assassin firing only 3 shots. Hence, the only plausible explanation was that both Kennedy and Connally had been struck by the same bullet. The Warren Commission questioned 126 of the 266 known witnesses, either by testimony or affidavit, regarding the sources of shots. 38 gave no opinion, 32 indicated the Texas School Book Depository, and 51 placed the shots in the vicinity of the grassy knoll. Several believe shots were fired by 2 different locations. Even veteran law enforcement officers, who should have been expected to provide expert opinions as to the sources of shots, were divided in their beliefs. Of the 20 sheriff's deputies watching the motorcade in front of the sheriff's office, 16 placed the portion of the shots near the triple underpass, 3 gave no opinion, and 1 implied the positive. Of the Dallas policemen interviewed, 4 placed shots on grassy knoll. 4 said shots came from the depository, and 4 gave no opinion. It is evident that different witnesses held different beliefs as to the source of the shots. Supporters of the judicial edition of the assassination point to this as proof that eyewitness testimony cannot be counted on for accuracy. Skeptics of the official story say this difference of opinion indicates shots from different locations.
Dallas, on the day Kennedy died, there were those people iconoclastic enough to suggest that Vice President Johnson was behind the assassination. These were mostly longtime Texas residents who had heard vicious stories about Johnson for years, and who figured the Texas politician had more to gain from Kennedy's death than just about anyone. Even today, many serious students of the assassination cannot discount the idea that Johnson, in some way, played a role in the Dallas tragedy. Johnson's actions following the assassination do little to stop such speculation, and a close study of the corruption and violence that dogged Johnson's political career only adds to the suspicions.
The grassy knoll, the grassy knoll, the grassy knoll.